Hey guys, it's Holly. So to my complete surprise, I went to the Lego store and managed to pick myself up the Lego Harry Potter Monster Book of Monsters set 30628. And I'm not sure whether or not this is going to be a gift with purchase or just a regular retail set. Because at this point, it's been a regular retail set in Legoland Discovery Centres in the US, but it also has been a gift with purchase in Singapore. And for us, the Australian physical Lego stores have had this in stock. However, there was a limit of one per customer, which makes me think that this set is a lot more scarce and kind of gives me off that gift with purchase vibes because it did sell out in one day, and that typically doesn't happen for things like this. For example, when the Hagrid and Buckbeak brickheads came out, they still had quite a lot of them on launch day. Now in America, this set retails for $20 US and it retailed for $30 Australian dollars, so it is a really nice cheap set, and I really like the design of it. It's something we've never seen from Lego before, and since I'm a massive fan of the Prisoner of Azkaban, I'm really happy with the book choice. However, there are a lot of things that kind of bother me about it, and I'm probably not as impressed as I thought I was going to be initially, but either way, I'm really happy to get this set. With that in mind, if you are planning on buying some sort of Harry Potter set in the next few months, I would definitely hold out until we find out more information about this, because I have a feeling if it's going to be a gift with purchase, it's going to be Lego Harry Potter sets exclusively, kind of like the Star Wars Han Solo Carbonite keyring, where all the sets have released, and then they release this promo where you exclusively have to buy stuff from that line, and it just becomes way too hard to get. So for example, the books are going to come out in January, and that's when I imagine this would probably be launched as a gift with purchase set. So if you're planning on getting any of the 2020 sets, the Hogwarts Castle, Diagon Alley, any of the older ones, try and hold out for this if possible, because I'm telling you, this set is going to be worth it if you get your hands on it. And I feel like, just like the micro scale Diagon Alley, this is going to be one desired set.
So here is the Monster Book of Monsters, and overall I think it's an absolutely lovely set, and I feel like this is probably the only school book that you could do as a set, purely because one, it's the most memorable, at least in my opinion, and we all know that I love The Prisoner of Azkaban, but two, it has a lot of character to it and a lot of detail. You just simply couldn't do this set for something like advanced potion making. Like, that's the only other book that I think really comes to mind that really stands out in the film. And for $20 US and 30 Australian, I think it's a really good deal. But before we take a proper look at the book, let's start off with Draco. So we get one minifigure in this set, and that is Draco Malfoy. And while he technically is an exclusive variant, because this is an exclusive combination of the parts, he's definitely not exclusive. Black legs, seen before. Slytherin torso, seen before. The face is from the 2020 wave of sets, and then that hairpiece was used on all of his older variants. And Draco, while I'm happy that we do get a minifigure, it's a really disappointing choice to me. One, because this Draco is definitely not accurate. He should be in his Slytherin school robes instead of a jumper. His hairpiece as well, not just the color is off like all of the new Draco figures, but the hairpiece as well. His hair did not look like that. Personally, I feel like a recolor of Flitwick's would have been more accurate, or even the dog trainer, but you know, that's a debate that I'm saving for another day. Besides that though, I just don't think Draco and the Monster Book of Monsters had too much correlation. Like, to me, I would have actually preferred them to include the CMF Neville with like the Monster Book of Monsters mini one in his robes, even just without the accessory. I feel like that Neville would have worked a lot better, or even a ripped version of Neville, because that's something we didn't see in the CMF series. Although I guess then more people would be mad if this does turn out to be a gift with purchase, but then again, they did it for Ollivander, and that's something that I'm mad about, so I wouldn't really be surprised if they did it again. Another thing that annoys me about this minifigure is more so to do with their wand being the fact that it's a dark brown wand. Draco is known for having a black wand in every single set. Now my theory behind this, because this isn't the first time they've done it, they have given out brown wands before to almost every single character, for example the student pack, and my theory to this is that it's the cheapest color to make for Lego because there are so many. Like, it's Harry's wand, it's in every single set, which is quite disappointing because I really want more black wands, because if I start to build a Death Eater army, I want to have them all to have black wands. They're all dark wizards. To me, that makes a lot more sense. So I'm happy we got a minifigure, but like a lot of the minifigures in the 2020 wave, they are just not accurate at all. Though I will give it to Draco, I will be using his torso and legs to build some other students. So here is the Monster Book of Monsters, and honestly, I think it looks best when propped up like this. I've kind of got you looking down on it to make it look even better, but I feel like at this angle it looks amazing, which is a real shame because it's literally resting on this minifigure stand I made. We don't actually get a stand like that. It just sits flat, which unfortunately means you don't really get to see any of the stickers. I mean, you could stand it up like so that you can see it, but then you don't really get to see the tongue and the teeth. I mean, unless you really put it this way. I feel like this is the prime way to do it. You can't do it from the back because you have some nice wheels underneath, which is a pretty neat play feature. But overall, I really love the design of this book, and I just knocked that piece off. So a little flimsy on the top half of it, but honestly, the build looks amazing, and it's a lot bigger and bulkier than I kind of assumed. It also used some interesting building techniques, specifically with the tongue and with the overlapping of these corner pieces. While I have seen that being done before, it's not something I see too often, which is really cool. I also love the play feature and the way they've done the spine, although I wish it did have a sticker saying the Monster Book of Monsters on it. I think that would have just made it even better. The stickers as well look really nice, and I love how you can actually put them side by side and line them up, which is a problem I had with some of the stickers in Diagon Alley, is that they just did not match up. The build of the teeth and the lips as well is fantastic, and I love the bookmark tongue and how it can swivel around and also has a slight ball joint to it so you can kind of position it. Another great thing about this set is all of the vines hanging out on the sides. I love how they're using alternate colors and you're using some of the teeth pieces to kind of give the book that ragged, scraggly, like claw, evil looking, creepy book type of thing. Just like the Charles Dickens gift with purchase as well, they do use these bricks on the side. They're like nice textured ones to make it look like pages in a book, which is something I really, really like. And I like how the top as well has a lot of texture to it, but also uses a mixture of reddish brown and dark brown. I think it really adds a lot to the set. Now at the bottom, as you saw earlier, there are two wheels, and that is because it does have a chomping up and down play feature, as when you move the wheels, it brings up these two levers on the inside, which makes the entire top raise. So there are these two light bluish grey pieces resting up on those red ones to kind of push it up and make it bounce up and down, which is really, really cool. And when I first saw pictures of this book, it reminded me so much of the Joker trike chomping up and down, except this version is definitely a lot more loud. I do have to admit though, sometimes, that's the second time that piece has fallen off, that is not on there very well. But anyway, back to what I was saying, sometimes I do have to admit this play feature is kind of bulky. Just the way it runs, I don't think it's quite that smooth, and I get it's supposed to be that jolting thing, but I think it's just something to do with the wheels and how tightly packed they are. Like at one point it was really, really stiff, then it became really, really smooth to do, so I'm not too sure what to do. But honestly, I think the loudness of the book really makes this set. Now, like I said as well, this feature reminds me a lot of the Joker trike, which in my opinion works so much smoother. And that's mostly because it's not really running on wheels and it's not trying to be hidden. Like this piece is just hitting up and down. It's a lot more simpler of a function, works a lot smoother. It does work forward and backwards, and it's not as loud and clunky. While I don't mind the loud and clunkiness of this, I just wish it ran a lot smoother. It gets stuck, it's like falling apart. And I think that's partly due to these like smooth bricks here. Like if I take these off, maybe it will run a bit smoother. Like you can see these have already kind of gotten some damage from where I'm moving it back and forth. See, that just made it even worse. And that's a real disappointment to me, because that is something I was really looking forward to with this book, was like moving it back and forth and having it chomp around. So the fact that I kind of really have to push hard on it and force it does really bother me. But then again, I'm not really going to use that play feature all too often. I'm probably just going to have it displayed like that on my shelf. I'm not too sure exactly where. I'm thinking maybe I'll put it with the newer Harry Potter books. So that is the Monster Book of Monsters. And like I've said earlier, I don't know how we're going to be able to get this set. But honestly, part of me still thinks that this could be a gift with purchase, because I feel like at this point it would have been widely available in store. But also the fact that it was a gift with purchase in Shanghai really makes me think that maybe this is going to be something like that, which to me unfortunately is really disappointing. Like I still believe that this was the Diagon Alley promo and was supposed to come out with that and just wasn't ready, and I feel like something like that would have made a lot more sense because the set's brand new. But at this point you're going to have to release it with the January wave of sets, which are pretty much those books and the art, and at that point it's like, all right, well for me the books cost 40 Australian dollars, so buying all of them is going to cost 160. So if the threshold for this set, if it's specifically Harry Potter and it's more than $160, I'm going to lose it, because that's ridiculous. Like I don't have any other sets that I'd want to buy. Yeah, I could buy an art, but I don't really want to buy an entire wave of sets just to get this promo. So I'm really fortunate that this was just available at the store for me. It's also important to note that this did have a limit of 1 per customer, which does make me think that this is more of like a scarce type of item. That being said, my fear that it is a gift with purchase means basically if you are holding out on buying a Lego Harry Potter set, whether that be something big like Diagon Alley or the Hogwarts Castle, or even something more like the Hogwarts Express or any of the castle buildings, something within that like over $100 range, or even the books themselves and the rumored Harry Potter art, honestly, I would wait. I would wait for more information about how to get this book, because I honestly don't think it's worth buying all those sets and then having Lego release yet another promo where you specifically have to buy a lot of stuff only from that theme to get this promo, just like they did with the Han Solo carbonite keyring for Star Wars. It's just not worth it. But overall, I think the set is fantastic, and if you can get your hands on it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. But let me know your thoughts on the set down below. Do you plan on hopefully getting it if you can hit the threshold, if it's a gift with purchase, or just buy it as a regular set? And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, guys, I will see you later.